Hello and welcome to this video. This is an inside look of the hardware that I am currently using in my PC rig. My steadily updating PC rig. I'm sorry for the camera shake. I'm using my Samsung S7 mobile, or as Americans call cell phone. So as you can see, this is a fully I've took the side panel off, which is just a normal PC side panel, and so this is my PC rig. As you can see, there's the front of the case, a bit tatty, but I need to clean it up really. But anyway, more important is inside the computer. Now, many of you may look at this and say, "What are you doing with all the wires everywhere, and everything like that?" And all I can say is it's a work in progress. Well, more to the point is it's sometimes incredibly hard to hide all the entire wires, especially when you've got these case fans, these 180 millimeter fans, that you can see one spinning there. There's one up above here, there's one there, and there's one buried right down in front of the case. Well, you can see it there. So that's why you can see like the power cable and stuff like that. This Ajax cable, 3-pin cable that if you follow it all the way around, it goes down to the power supply. Now, to start off, yes, this power supply is a Corsair CX750M 750 watt power supply. Now, this has been the long staple of this PC build. Originally bought it from a local, bought it quite I've had it probably about just over a year or so, and it's been a quite reliable power supply. So moving up, we have my new ASUS ROG RX STRIX 480 graphics card. It's an 8 gig graphics card, and as you can see, it's it's the STRIX version. It's the ASUS version, manufactured by ASUS, and it's an 8 gig graphics card. And it's got an 8-pin connection, so there's all the connections there. Yep, sorry, my mistake. And it's a very groovy, stunning looking graphics card. And if I can get down properly, you can see the fans there, and there's the power lead. Hang on, just give me a moment. Yep, you can see the fans there. They're not spinning at the moment, but it's because it's on standby. It's just on the login screen, and there you can see buried is the Gigabyte Gaming 970 motherboard. It's the normal version, not the SLI version. So even though it's got two PCIe ports, it's not custom BIOSed for SLI configuration, which for my purposes is not really needed. The SLI, I don't really use SLI configurations anyway. So right, and moving up, we've got the famous Vengeance, 2 sticks of 8 gig RAM, coming to 16 gig, 16 megahertz RAM speed, and we've got my Wraith cooler it's now hiding a 83 FX processor. I did have an 8350 FX processor, but upon changing upon all the sort of technical issues I had with this build, I had to change the motherboard, and upon changing the motherboard, I sort of dropped the CPU and bent some of the pins and couldn't restore the CPU, so I had to go out and buy a new CPU, which the only one that I had budget for was an 8300 FX processor. It is AMD and it is AM3, but I am looking forward to the new Ryzen processors coming out. Probably, I think they're coming out around about end of February, beginning of March. I'm not too certain, but that's what all the other YouTubers tell me. Well, that's what you can find online anyway. I'm not giving a lot out of the Ryzen CPUs, but anyway, that's another story. Yeah. So anyway, there's my DVD rewriter. It's I think it's a Toshiba DVD rewrite. I'm not sure. It's just a standard DVD rewrite that I've had for donkey's years, so it's not really important. And we have a Western. We have a Western Digital 2TB SATA 2.5-inch hard drive, which is acting as my primary hard drive at the moment, and I'm getting too close to the fans, the CPU fans, so me go zow. So yeah, so that's originally a laptop hard drive. I scavenged it out on my MacBook Pro and used it for this build because the hard drive that I had originally in this, which was a terabyte hard drive, a Toshiba one, that just completely died, and I had to quick replace it in order to do more streaming. Yeah, so as you can see, it's all over the place, the wiring. A lot of people are going to be cringing on this, and yeah, so moving to the back. Moving to the back, as you can see, you've got all your you've got the USB ports, you've got the USB Type C port and the 2.0 port. You've got USB 3.1 and 3.0, and then you've got the Ethernet and the 7.1 audio with a audio sync out port there, if you can see it hiding behind a grey cover. And there's the back of my graphics card, which is connected to my ASUS 24-inch monitor. It's a HDMI monitor, so I'm using the HDMI port. Thank God I've finally got myself an HDMI monitor, yay! And there's the back of the fan. Yep, just a little bit continuous. Whoops. There's the back of the power supply, which has always been. Right. Anyway. Yeah. So I'm having a bit of trouble with the with the 3.1 ports. They're not working. I have tried so many troubleshooting avenues. Tried to reset the BIOS. Tried to reinstall the drivers. Tried to reinstall Windows numbers of times. Even went back to Windows 7. It's just not working. It's just absolutely not working in my troubleshooting. So I've come to the conclusion that this board, this Gigabyte board, is a duff board in a way. It works to an extent. Even though the CPU can be overclocked, it can't be overclocked because for some reason the BIOS doesn't let me, even though it has the options to do it. It just throws up loads of errors. This Wolf CPU, I could get about 4 gig on my old processor, on my 8350 processor, but on this 8300 processor I can only get a stock speed of 3.3. but gladly it is 8 cores, so I'm not having too much of a performance hit, even though I can't play things like Doom anymore. But then again, like I said before, I am looking forward to the Horizon CPUs coming out, which you should see an AM4 board in here, and it should complement the graphics card very nicely. But that seems to be it for the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back and see more inside my tower videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon on another video. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye.